This is The Bad Hire, the show where epic hiring failures and remarkable wins fuel better hiring. I'm your host, Ken Monroe, and each week we dive into real-life stories with HR pros, recruiters, and leaders who've seen it all. Because let's face it, everyone remembers the bad hire. All right, well, welcome to the show. This is the Bad Hire Podcast, and welcome, Emma. How you doing? Good to have you back.
Good, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. And Linsey, it's your first time on the show. Welcome. I'm excited to have you here. I think you've been in the industry, in the recruiting industry, a really long time, and probably have stacks of bad hire stories, and a bunch of wins too. So tell me a little bit about your background. Where did you start? It's been a long time ago.
I had to throw it back like 20 years. But started in kind of the agency space and evolved through, industrial manufacturing, corporate, and a little bit in between.
Okay. And so you've been in sourcing, run a full desk, been over in corporate. I happen to know that you've been involved in a ton of big integration projects, putting in HRS systems and talent acquisition systems. So, you did that, I think, globally over.
I did over a number of years and, led great teams, bringing in great talent, running everything from the sourcing, the screening, the hiring, all the onboarding and, background checks.
Right. So suffice to say, tons of recruiting experience. So some of these stories will probably ring true to you. Just before we get started, though, to remind everybody, submit your stories. We'd love to read them. We've got a contest going this season. It's $10,000 to the winner of the contest. You submit your stories online at thebadhire.com. Check out that page and then submit your story. We'll read it. Our producers will look at it, and the best story of the season wins $10,000. So we look forward to reading your stories online. If we get your story, we like it, we may reach out to you. Our producers reach out to you, see if you want to come on the podcast, tell your story or others, and just hang out with us for the day as we shoot the show. So submit your stories. All right. So let me get started. I've got the first story. You ready?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. All right. The boss goes into the office of one of my dad's coworkers to discuss some kind of technical issue. And they disagree about the proper corrective measure. It escalates into a screaming match. And the boss fires the coworker on the spot, tells him to take off his stuff and get out. The coworker comes back the next morning, just like nothing happened. So nobody's really sure what's going on. And since the boss had to go out of town for a meeting, they can't get hold of him to ask, hey, should he be here? He doesn't seem to be causing any problems, though. So they just kind of do their thing and leave him alone. The coworker keeps coming in and doing work. And a couple of days later, the boss walks past his door and does this kind of like double take. Hey, didn't I fire you? Without looking up from his desk, the coworker replies, you can't fire me. I have too much work to do. The boss thinks about this for a minute, shrugs, and walks off. The dude kept working there for another couple of years after that.
It's like an HR nightmare.
Right.
He was just like, whatever.
Right. Just come back.
Okay.
You're fired. Uh-huh. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Like he didn't really mean it.
Yeah.
He was just
kidding.
Yeah.
It was spur of the moment.
Yeah. I guess. I wonder if they had I assume they didn't have the screaming match again after that. So I don't know. Lesson here: persistence sometimes beats policy.
Yeah. Maybe he forgot that he screamed at me yesterday.
Right. Yeah. Boss went out of town. I don't know. I think my kids are like that. I think they just ignore me and take their keys away from them or something, and they're like, right.
I'll just grab your set.
Yeah. Just take your car. Oh my gosh. All right. So next, I worked at a company that was going through layoffs. Oh, geez. All right. I was in HR sitting next to the girl who checked the anonymous HR tip line. That's the third party company, where employees could call without being identified to report HR issues. Turns out a manager had been feeling down about the layoffs and decided his team needed a morale boost. This doesn't sound like it's going in somewhere. He piled them all in a company van and took them to a strip club.
Nice. Classy.
Yeah, there you go.
As one does.
Yeah, including 2 women.
Oh, okay.
I bet they were comfortable. The women said they were uncomfortable.
Yeah.
There we go. And wanted to leave. He said, find your own ride home. This was literally one day after the sexual harassment training was completed.
Say that course was a fail.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like it was very successful.
He did not listen, much like the first guy who didn't listen to the firing. That guy didn't listen to the
Top of people not listening.
the sexual harassment training. Yeah, so safe to say he failed like management 101 class. Hope he was on the list of layoff terminations. I don't really hope that, but
Yeah,
he
you
may,
do.
yeah,
Yeah.
he may have deserved it. Oh my gosh. All right, last one, and then I'll pass it off to Lynn. So I think she's got a couple. I work for a company that produces munitions. So background checks are required. You cannot have a felony and work around firearms. I always ask if there's anything in their background that would make them unqualified to work around munitions. Every recruiter does that, right? Is there anything in your past you want to tell me about? Have you ever been? You ever unalive someone?
Yeah.
You say it as a joke in hopes that they'll disclose
You remember
something.
that one story you read? They were in an interview and he was like, "Oh, it'll be fine. Like as long as you haven't unalived somebody, it'll be fine." And
Right.
the person said, "But what if I have?"
That's right. I do remember that.
Like,
I forgot.
I hate my job right now. Yeah.
Dang. All right. I always ask if there's anything in their background that would make them unqualified to work around munitions. Answer is always no. Until the background check comes back and they forgot they have prior felonies. I'm interviewing a candidate and ask him if he would pass a background check, and he tells me yes. I'm not even. That's kind of like a check the box rule, isn't it? I mean, like you're really not supposed to ask that question, right? You make the conditional offer and then you do it. So asking the question actually is illegal in probably 25 states. He then proceeded to bike his. I'm interviewing a candidate and ask if he would pass a background check. He tells me yes. He then proceeds to hike his leg on my desk. He's going to pass a background check and show me his ankle monitor.
Lovely.
I again ask him if he has any felonies. He proceeds to say no. I give him the benefit of the doubt and finish the interview. I send the link for the background check and he completes it. 3 days later, I see he's on parole for SA on a minor. Serial stalking and a bunch of other things in other states. People, please be honest when interviewing. Most recruiters are not going to risk their jobs by not doing a thorough background check on an applicant. Be honest and will not waste each other's time, she writes. All right.
You said he did show his ankle monitor?
Yeah. I don't know. I felt like he was semi-telling the truth.
Kind of.
Like, was he joking when he said no? Like,
No.
This is just an accessory. It's not real. Yeah. It's an
Jewelry. I know you thought this was a monitor. It's just something I wear. I don't know. But
Interesting.
that's happened.
to you?
No, not to me.
Yeah.
But I've heard stories from our own customers who didn't do certain types of searches, and someone showed up first day of work with an ankle monitor for a federal charge, and they did not search. In their background check, they weren't searching federal records, and they're like, "Why is you guys missed a record?" And we're like, "No, you didn't search that. That was your choice." And then they come back. Somebody shows up with an ankle monitor. What always happens is they show up with an ankle monitor, and that story quickly goes to some VP or executive VP who then lands on top of HR and yelling out.
All the whispers in the office.
Right. So,
That's interesting.
yeah, that's why recruiters double check.
Funny.
Because recruiters always should double check, because honesty is sometimes
Rare.
not
It's
in
a
the
little rare.
vocabulary.
It's a little rare. Mm-hmm.
I think applicants lie. All right, before I pass it off, the bad hire is sponsored by B-Checks. And every hire who looked perfect on paper but turned into an HR nightmare, that's when B-Checks comes in. With industry-leading accuracy, lightning fast results in under 20 hours, and fraud detection tech other screeners miss, B-Checks help schools, cities, churches, ministries, and businesses hire right the first time. because a bad hire doesn't just cost money. It risks your culture, your reputation, and even your safety. Switch today and get up to $2,000 in account credit. Don't let your next bad hire become your problem. Visit bchecks.io and protect your people, your reputation, and your sanity. All right, Linsey. Here we go. I'll pass it off to you. You've got
Some good ones.
okay.
Yeah,
All right.
some good ones.
I heard you talking about one earlier today, and I was like, okay, this could be a good one today.
All right. So a VP at my company caught wind that she was going to be fired. Her secretary told her that the higher-ups were on their way. The VP told her secretary that she was going to the bathroom. After waiting for 30 minutes, they had someone go and check the bathroom, and the VP had never gone to the bathroom. She went home to avoid being fired.
Oh, does that work? Can you just like?
I don't know, it's kind of like being
It's
invisible.
kind of like the first guy who just ignored. Is like,
Yeah.
I'm not going to be here for that, so you
Can't be fired if I'm not here.
Yeah.
To be fired.
Yes. Now I'm going on medical leave right now.
That's probably right.
Actually, I'm sick.
Yes.
I have to go.
Yeah.
Tell Lindsay's heard like a thousand different,
Little excuses. Here.
1,000 different. I'm in trouble. No, I'm on medical leave.
Yeah. All right. So another good one. It says, I hired someone that ended up accidentally using the company card to pay for his bail bond when pulled over for driving under the influence. The position required driving all over the state, and apparently this person also had a suspended license, so the employee was charged with that also. And we didn't find out until the charge was on the credit card and had to investigate further.
Sorry, how do you accidentally use the company card on something?
Because you're broke. You don't have any money.
Yeah.
It's like you got to pay it. You're like, hopefully they don't see it.
I can see pulling it out at the grocery store by accident if it's the same color or something like that. But that's
That
kind of like
that happens.
intentional.
That happens
That's
with
intentional.
our staff. Sometimes someone uses the card inadvertently.
This is all I got.
Yeah. Like, oops.
Oops, I paid my dentist $1,000. Whoops.
Yeah.
That's happened.
It's like one guy, the story you told that he took the company card and went to a hotel and paid for a bunch of room service. Do you remember that one?
You have like a great memory for these stories. I have all this
sparks a
this
memory.
reach back.
It reminds me of other ones that we've read.
Other things not to do.
Well, it's kind of interesting because, in a survey that we did, we surveyed people and asked them, would you tell your employer if you got arrested? And like 6 in 10 say, yeah, no, I wouldn't do that. Yeah, and there's every company has a policy, and we have that Checks 365 product that does continuous monitoring, and so you find out when someone's been arrested. You don't just
See it on your credit
your
card
credit card statement is not a good monitoring system.
Yeah. It comes a little after the fact.
Right.
So, all right. So last one. I once had a candidate for an intermediate level analyst brag during an interview that he used to work other jobs and play poker while working his primary position. For example, for about 2 weeks before he was caught and got fired from both of his jobs, he would take long lunches. No one knew where he was between 10:30 and 1:30. It's a long lunch.
That is a long lunch.
It turns out he had gotten a job making pizza next door at the pizza restaurant. He was working there during the rush hour for lunch. He also bragged about playing poker at work constantly. This was, I guess, in the late 2000s when online poker was still in boom or popular.
I think it still is.
Yeah, I was like, I think that's still a thing. He bragged these things to me as if a relatively young professional at the time would think that that was cool. Multitasking at the finest. And again, like he thought it might have demonstrated his ability to multitask very well. And either way, we did not extend him the offer.
Wait, this
was for a recruiter, and this was a candidate that shared this story.
No way. Okay, so I was thinking this when you were telling the story. I was thinking that I knew someone so this is a recruiter.
Yep.
And because the recruiter's saying, because I'm young, he thinks he can share this cool stuff with me and how he
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah. I think that, we've got that bond. We're in common, This isn't the real boss. It's the gatekeeper to the boss.
Yeah, this person's,
cool
he's going to think I'm cool because I can multitask.
I've got lots of
I can
skills.
make pizza for you.
Lots of skills.
I can win you a lot of money.
I could, yeah.
Good time. So, Emma, what's your stories look like today?
I normally have really good ones.
Yeah.
Ken always says that I have good ones.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yes.
Okay. My bookstore wasn't exactly known for strict management, which meant we had some real characters on staff. Take This sweet lady, late 50s, early 60s, we'll call her Darlene. Honestly, at first, she was just kind of forgetful. One of those employees who can never quite remember how to do things, but harmless enough. Until one day, she decides it's time to show off something she keeps in her purse. Not a picture of her grandkids, not her new lipstick, nope, her gun. On the sales floor, customers around, staff around. Like, it's the most normal thing in the world.
Just pull it out.
Bookstore.
Right. Hey, check this out.
That's it for the first one.
Yeah.
I know. Not as exciting as the one.
Maybe one of the recruiting questions would be, I don't know anything.
Do you have concealed carry license?
Do you intend to use it in our store while you work here? Because we really prefer you did.
Maybe you should apply for a security role if you want to carry a gun.
I was like, what you'd need to in the bookstore for, but it's crazy out there.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my next one. Back when I was running my welding shop, I had one of those moments you just don't forget. I walked in one morning and there's this huge pool of blood under one of the saws. No one was around. I followed the trail through the shop, splattered in the office, out the door, and across the parking lot. It looked like something out of a crime show.
Yuck.
So I hopped in my truck to see if I could find whoever it was. A few minutes later, there he was, my brand new employee, riding his bicycle down the road. He had a bloody t-shirt wrapped around his hand, pedaling like it was no big deal. Turns out, he'd cut his thumb clean off. And the wild part, he stuck it in his pocket and decided the best way to get help was to pedal 18 miles to the hospital.
Okay.
Ah.
Phones don't work.
No.
Yeah. Don't call 911. Don't call an ambulance. I'm going to pedal 18 miles.
An ambulance, I drive a bicycle.
Yeah.
I'm just, I just really shouldn't do that, but I'm just imagining holding on to the handlebar.
Off balance, leaning to the left. Oh, that's sad.
He's first day on the job.
A little sad.
I would say that hire is suspect if that guy's not sharp enough
Yeah.
to
No
pull
pun intended right
right?
there.
Yeah.
Saw.
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
I'm going to take a 40-minute drive. I'm going to take a 40-minute pedal. 40 probably take longer than that. How long would that take? It would probably take a couple hours.
Thumb is just decaying. And
Right.
And the boss is
All
worried
right.
about his work.
Remember, I tell you, just bring me some light hire. You always do this to me.
Guns,
Give me a
blood, and
guns and blood. That's what you
I
do.
didn't even want to hear your craziest story.
Okay, that is crazy. That was a bad hire.
Yeah.
Found it clearly not good. It hired him, clearly not good with a saw, doesn't understand safety measures, and not bright enough to call 911.
Lots of concerns there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you ready for my last one?
I am.
For the day?
Okay.
This one is not as gory.
Okay, good. I love the wholesome, good-hearted stories.
We can all
Okay.
agree.
Good. Lack of violence coming here.
Back when I worked at Jimmy John's, we had this one delivery driver who was, let's just say, not the brightest. He literally drive home with the car topper still on top of his car more than once. On our busiest day of the year, $1 sub day, he got sent to deliver food just half a mile down the road. Except 45 minutes later, the customer calls asking where her order is. By the time he finally shows up, we've already made a replacement. The owner quietly pulls him aside, doesn't yell, and I'm thinking he's actually going to get away with it. But then a cop walks in, points right at him, and hauls him outside. Next thing we see, he's face first against the big glass windows, getting handcuffed. Turns out he'd gone miles out of range, hit 2 cars, fled the scene with the Jimmy John's sign still on top of his car, and on top of that, cops found illegal substances in his vehicle.
Yeah.
Lovely.
Never saw him again after that.
Yeah, super good hire. That's what you call firing without firing. Cops took him away. I don't have to fire.
takes care of
I guess
itself.
you still have to fire them legally, I guess. But you don't have to say it. You don't have to do the hard conversation. You just like,
How would
Bruh.
you do that if he's
And he's like, where am I going to send that last paycheck?
to the jail?
Yeah. Which block will you be in? Yeah.
do you want that in commissary credit or?
That's all mine for today.
Oh my gosh. All right. Well, that's kind of a wrap on episode 7. Huge thanks to everyone. Thanks, Linsey, for being here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you did awesome. And remember, we've got $10,000 to give to a winner. So make sure to go to thebadhire.com, check out our website, submit your stories. We'll read them on air if they're any good. And I would just like to say, Emma, please keep it positive. No more.
I'll do my best.
Yeah, thank you. But we'll be back next week with another show and look forward to seeing you then.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to The Bad Hire. Don't forget to follow, rate, and share the show. If you've got a story of your own, I'd love to hear it. You can email me at ken@thebadhire.com or find me on LinkedIn at Ken Monroe. And I'll see you next time.